I'm Melanie Borelli with Blackburn News. I'm with Natyshak, NDP candidate for Essex. So in the wake of the economic meltdown in 2008, governments came together to fund a major infrastructure projects and create jobs. Given the current economic uncertainties, do you think we need another round of economic stimulus to stabilize our economy?
At this very moment, I don't think so, but let's be prepared to enact some measures should the economy take another downturn. The fragility of the United States economy is certainly on our minds. The European Union is an issue at this point too as well. So I think governments of all levels have to be prepared to enact possibly some stimulus funding. It goes to what Keynes meant when he proposed sort of a Keynesian economic model to ensure that the public sector played a large part in revitalizing regional economies. So we would definitely need to keep that option open.
Over the past few years, we've seen an explosion in the green energy investments. Does this sector need government intervention to be viable? If so, how much is appropriate?
I think it's appropriate for the government to be supportive of a new industry and to entice businesses to start with, in that industry. I think it's a viable component of our energy infrastructure, of our energy needs, and it has to play a part, certainly in this province. But it has to be done in the right way. It has to be done in a sustainable way, and it has to be done so that it benefits communities directly, small communities. It has to support farming communities too as well, rural communities, instead of focusing on large private corporations that would dominate this area. We should look at cooperative models that allow communities to invest their own dollars and benefit directly from the energy that's generated.
While construction on the new Windsor-Essex Parkway gets underway, we're still waiting for Senate approval of the new border crossing in Lansing, Michigan. How can the provincial government at this stage of the process ensure we are not stuck with a road to nowhere?
Well, the game right now really is in Lansing, and I think all of our focus as a provincial government has to be there. Certainly lobbying politicians on the United States side of the border, and also building up sort of a critical mass of support. We know that there are forces that are direly against and dead set against having a public crossing. We have to make sure that we give those people who are in favor of this crossing, the workers, the communities that know that we need this crossing, we have to give them the support, and also ensure that governments feel comfortable that the project will be done in a timely way and an efficient way and well within the budget.
An Auditor General's report earlier this year suggested whatever party is elected will be forced to cut at least $1 billion out of health care. Where would you make those cuts?
Well, I don't necessarily agree that cuts are the issue. What I would focus on are efficiencies within our healthcare system. We know that we need a long-term care strategy. We know that dollars that are invested in long-term care and home care, an aging at home strategy, would go a long way to alleviate the costs at the front end on frontline services and acute care facilities, also alleviating wait lines or wait times. So we could invest and save money at the same time. Secondly, there's efficiencies to be made in one of the highest growing sectors of our healthcare system, which is drugs. We need to look at a model that could enable us to enact bulk buying, possibly an interprovincial model, or even a national pharmacare model that would allow the use of generic drugs to lower the costs on our healthcare system for people that need drugs.
Many young Ontarians are saddled with large student debt. When their parents were that age, they were buying homes and starting families. What would you do to help these Ontarians realize the Canadian dream?
Well, first of all, our provincial government needs to recognize that investment in post-secondary education is investment in our future, investment in growth, and it has to be seen as such. New Democrats under Andrea Horwath have proposed an immediate freeze of tuition fees. That would allow not only people to afford to go to university, but also a freeze on an elimination of interest on the debt too as well. So it helps postgraduate students too as well, so that they're not constantly accumulating more debt on their education. So it has to be seen as an investment. It is great value for dollar, and we certainly want to do as much as we can to make students prosper in our system.
Thank you very much. So, Natyshak, NDP candidate for Essex.